This episode is not to fan the flames of hysteria related to COVID-19. In this episode, I wanted to really look at how the hysteria that currently exists around the coronavirus and price gouging have started to seep their way into the dark web. I started this channel a month ago to educate, entertain, and engage, and it was not meant to be a platform for social commentary. But I feel kind of remiss not to comment prior to doing a video like this on the current state of affairs. And I just want to say that in a time of crisis, that is when we test the true mettle of all of our character, and humankind really separates itself in terms of the leaders from the lackeys, the pious from the pharisaic, and the altruists from the opportunists. And with that, I think we just all need to be our brother's keeper and look out for each other, and we will get through this in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. So with that, viruses on the dark web are nothing new. When we think of computer viruses, you can easily find vendors selling password crackers, rootkits, adware, keyloggers, and other forms of malware across a wide set of forums and marketplaces. But it's something else when we think about an actual real infectious virus. What does that mean? How does it relate? Is there any correlation, and does it impact the dark web? Well, the answer is yes. The dark web is not so far removed from mainstream society that you can just ignore this pandemic. And recently observed the emergence of coronavirus-related products, discussions, and scams on the dark web, and I want to go over some of those with you today. With COVID-19 dominating media coverage over the last several days and weeks, and really kind of this global crisis being at the forefront of everyone's mind, I was curious, what's happening in the dark web. So I wanted to take some time today and kind of show you all kind of what's happening. Some of it is expected and some of it's very unexpected. Things like, obviously masks and hand sanitizers we're starting to see being sold more and more on the dark web, and a lot of discussion in some of the chat rooms about what this all means. But then certain things such as false vaccinations claims being put out there, people claiming they have, antidotes to the disease, and something as crazy as those selling blood and saliva that they say is infected with COVID-19. So the first site is related to that topic. So came across this site. This vendor is enthusiastically selling blood and saliva they claim to be infected with COVID-19 for $1,000. So obviously this is pretty shocking and disturbing, and the fact that someone would mail something like this obviously is a biohazard. Most likely this is a scam. It's a false claim. It's probably not real. So that's the one thing I think we can take away that's a positive. There are a number of marketplaces and vendors that are also claiming to have access to a vaccination for COVID-19. So this is one of those. This individual is, saying protect your family. They have an antidote or vaccine that is coming from this Israeli biotech company that they either work for or potentially know someone who works for them, and claim they have a limited supply of this antidote for COVID-19. A little more mundane is things around masks and hand sanitizers. So as eBay and Amazon conduct, the best they can efforts to scale back sales of health and wellness products due to price gouging and the fears of counterfeiting, a lot of that demand is going to flow potentially to the dark web. So in this example, this person is selling 3M and Farstar masks that they claim are N95 for about 89 euros. Which translates into about $100. So not massive price gouging, but who knows if the product actually is what it says it is. Compared to this particular post, this person is selling N95 pollution masks for $342 just for one. So obviously an extreme uptick in price for this. So I think they're hoping to find someone who is maybe, really in a bind or really, really panicked by the situation to kind of capitalize on it. This other one came originally from a Dread forum, which is basically a kind of the Reddit version on the dark web. And this person is selling different packages of masks and hand sanitizers, $20 for 5 to 10, $18 for 10 to 50, and $15 for 50 to 100. So basically volume pricing at its best. There's also a number of different Chinese coronavirus dread and Telegram channels that have popped up. There's also individuals like this one here saying we offer coronavirus free shipping on all of our products. So there has been a common thread that I've seen on a few places that mailing things could be dangerous now because people lick stamps or they lick the envelope and the virus can stay around for several days, and so which is not verified in any way, shape, or form to my knowledge. But this person, and you're starting to see a lot of this that they're people are moving away from, I guess, gluten and dairy free, and now it's all about coronavirus free at this point. Also up along those lines, this individual, protect yourself from the coronavirus. So the incubation period is 14 days. That means you probably have hundreds of thousands of infected people spreading over the world already. So again, kind of fanning the flames of fear in the post, and to help your immune system and some of your various other systems to fight disease, you can take one of our THC capsules daily. So basically a health booster or some type of health medicine that they claim will boost your immune system and help to protect you potentially from the virus. And also finally wanted to show this one. So here is a site that is down currently. So there's a few of these that are starting to pop up. Just like any other small business, they are being affected by the global outbreak, and so it is interesting that even dark web businesses are potentially affected by everything that's happening. A lot of our traditional vendors and marketplaces, whether it be Amazon or your supermarkets, Whole Foods, others, Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever you're getting a lot of your products and services, they are doing their best to try to balance getting products in the stores while having to deal with potential overselling or counterfeiting, right? So they have great measures in place to protect consumers against that. Obviously the dark web, there aren't those type of guardrails that are in place, and so people who may start to get more and more desperate will start to go to the dark web, look at some of these sites, and obviously the claims being made, the quality of the products, there are no safeguards around it. So it's a very high risk proposition to start to leverage the dark web to buy things related to the ongoing COVID-19 crisis.
As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and provide comments.